I'm really excited to share this with you guys. This has been kind of like it's been a recent discovery that I've realized since coaching my clients of recent. And it kind of dawned upon me, and it was so obvious, but you know, sometimes obvious things, you overlook them because there's so many distractions in life. So I made some notes about this in a coffee shop on my phone. Actually, let me get my phone. All right. So this starts off really simple, then it goes really deep. I know for a fact all of you are going to love this. You might not appreciate it now, but you will if you practice it. So it starts off with obviously social anxiety. That's the problem that all my clients have to begin with. Some of the clients I work with, you know, their social anxiety can be more severe than others. But nonetheless, when we get to the origin of the root cause of the problem, it's anxiety. It's a fear of people. It's a fear of speaking. It's a fear of being judged. It's a fear of not being good enough. It's a fear of being rejected. It's a fear of trusting. It's a fear of confrontation. It's a fear of someone not liking you. It's a fear of public speaking. It's a fear of showing your personality. It comes down to all these things. Now, I know some of you know, but presuming some of you don't know, that was my problem. You know, that was my main problem before I started this YouTube channel and started teaching. And all the problems that I had originated from the same anxiety as my clients. So that's a huge part as to why I'm qualified to be teaching what I teach, doing this confidence coaching in this area, because I had the problem. I recognize it. I see the patterns in my clients, where the struggles are, because I know them firsthand from me. And I also can see the positive pattern in what they need to do to improve this problem and build confidence. So I made some notes here. So I titled this called Sitting Opposite. So sitting opposite one another and being honest, or having a back and forward honest conversation, it builds massive confidence and it reduces social anxiety. As simple as it sounds, it works fantastically. I've seen how all my clients become more socially confident from doing this. I see this every week when I coach my clients in London. Most of my clients initially are struggling to communicate in all their relationships because of social anxiety, if we go a bit deeper, which obviously originates from trauma that they've experienced from the past, and we've all experienced trauma. This is why facing this fear of sitting down in a coffee shop and practicing, you know, eye contact whilst, along with opening up, does wonders for my clients' confidence and self-esteem, and it improves their social skills with people, and that goes for anybody. So, in my experience, the majority of anxiety and depression is mostly the cause of not having good relationships with other people and also good connections, which always comes down to a lack of communication or poor communication or a lack of social skills, which obviously originates from fear and anxiety. People are often afraid of opening up in case they get hurt emotionally, the fear of judgment, rejection, and just the actual fear of the fear of what I'm doing now. I'll use those little notes as pointers. So, like I said, it makes sense, doesn't it? Because, you know, and I want to make a point of saying, you know, there's a difference between skilled life coaching and confidence coaching and social coaching and successful coaching that I do or other teachers do, someone like Les Brown, or there's many other teachers, right? There's a difference between that and just having a conversation with a friend, right? And I'm not saying there's not value in that, of course, you know, because obviously you can talk to anyone, but not everybody's got the skill to listen when you're speaking, not interrupt you, and not react in a way which is negative. So let me give you an example of some coaching right now, right? Just an example, because my clients have many struggles. So let's say, for example, you personally, you don't like your job right now and it's really stressing you out, it's making you depressed, and you want to change it, but you're scared to change it. You're scared to quit your job and start your own business in case you fail, you don't make money, or just, the sheer fear of just being terrified of doing it and not knowing what's going to happen. So let's say that's really important to you right now. And it's a very sensitive subject. Now let's say that you share that with a friend over coffee, and a friend reacts in a way like this: "Oh man, yeah, don't quit your job, man. Don't quit your job. What are you going to do? It provides you an income, and just don't complain, man. Just don't quit it because you can't start your own business. It's a bad economy. It wouldn't work out." That's a very, very negative way to react. But that's sometimes human nature. People don't do it because they're bad people or friends or family. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. But coaching is more skilled. I'm not going to react in that sort of way. If I'm working with a client and they're paying me to help them, I'm going to listen carefully. I'm going to be very careful with how I respond. I'm not going to respond like that. I'm going to respond like this. Well, I understand obviously that you're feeling fear and anxiety. That's normal. I felt like that. Everyone feels that. All successful people you see that you aspire to be like, or you look up to, or you make them better than you, they all felt what you're feeling. So there's no shame in feeling what you're feeling. You're feeling fear and anxiety, you're human, right? So to start with. But if you really want to do it, you could do that. I know you could do it. You've got the ability to do it. It's not as hard as you think. See, I'll stop right there. It's subtle, but it's a big difference. I'm not putting more fear into the person, shame, or telling them unconsciously that they're not good enough. I'm telling them that it's normal to feel what they're feeling, but they can do it. It's such a subtle difference, but it can be the difference in happiness, believing in yourself and doing it, or talking to a friend and then just feeling that the world's going to end, depressed. So that's just a subtle example of the difference between a skilled coach, coaching someone, helping them, and that's a big distinction between just a friend giving their opinion. Because most people, I've said this before, are giving opinions that they're not qualified to give, right? Which obviously everybody's got a right to their opinion, but not everybody's qualified to be saying what they're saying. So that is, that's why investing in a coach is so valuable. So that's just a small example, which can be a big deal, right? So moving back to what I was saying. Now, not all of my clients have got a real bad fear with eye contact, but some of them have, and I can relate because I used to have the same problem. So when I take my clients out and I take them to a coffee shop in London, or we go to different coffee shops that are nice, usually ones that are busy, because I like nice coffee shops and I like doing my coaching sessions in places where there's good energy, it's positive, we can really focus, and I can listen to my clients, listen to their problems, their challenges, and then come up with a strategy as to how they can take action, move forward, build confidence, and achieve their goal. So sitting down like this, like I'm looking at the camera now, right? You guys are watching me on YouTube and you're looking at me, right? I can't see you, but you can see me. But let's just say this is the perfect situation, not sitting here, because sitting here is an avoidant of eye contact and intimacy and talking, right? It has its place. So when I'm sitting down with a client, I'm sitting here, they're sitting opposite me, we're having a coffee. It's the only way to overcome this fear of eye contact. It takes them to another level. Now, of course, to begin with, it's really uncomfortable. It's a bit like going on a podcast show, because people have a fear of eye contact because, I know it's cheesy saying, but the eyes are the window to the soul. It's true. You can read someone a lot better when you're having eye contact with them. There's that intimacy, and when people are socially uncomfortable, I speak from experience. Often they don't want people reading their thoughts and seeing their emotions, and they're scared. They're not comfortable. That's where shyness originates from. You want to put your head down. You want to avoid. You want to do that. You want to break the connection because it brings up uncomfortable emotions, especially if you're not comfortable in that situation and you've been judged before. So people don't want to be seen. They're afraid to be seen in case they get rejected, hurt, judged, criticized, because it's happened before. And people are often not comfortable speaking. So when you're locked in and you've got eye contact with someone, you're talking to someone, it kind of forces you to speak. Because obviously, if someone's looking at you, we're looking at each other, and you're speaking, you're saying, I'm listening, then once you're finished, it kind of encourages me to say the next thing. But if I don't say the next thing, of course, it's going to get awkward. It can be, depending on who the person is, right? I'm so easygoing. If people get awkward, I'm not judgmental towards it, because I've been through it myself, and it's something that I love helping people with. And I try to really help my clients to be okay with being awkward, even though I know it doesn't feel nice for anybody, but you can find a safe place there through practice and changing the way that you judge yourself and the way that you judge awkward silences, eye contact, and not knowing what to say or speaking or stuttering. So I'm so used to it over the years, working with people with anxiety and improving them. So that's why people want to avoid eye contact, because they want to avoid speaking. They don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want to face these emotions, and they don't want to open up, because if they open up, it's like, oh, what is the person going to think about me, right? That's the fear, all these fears and trust and so forth. So that's why, you know, in these 2-hour sessions, it's no surprise that I see the transformation, I see the improvement every week with the clients. Even the ones, and it's not like, look, I want to make a point. Like, I don't say to my clients generally, unless I have to, it's not like when I meet them, I say, right, we're going to sit down and we're going to practice eye contact and talking. I don't really need to say that. I'm more helping them to achieve their goals, whether it's quitting their job, starting their own business, being more social, getting more success in dating, whatever area it may be, it's usually around these areas, or overcoming feeling down, you know, getting motivated to go to the gym. So during that process, you're going to practice that anyway. But if I have some clients who will say to me, and I love the bravery, because honesty is the best policy. They're like, look, I can't really make eye contact, even struggling to make eye contact with me. So I can really make them feel comfortable and explain, you know, one step at a time, get them to sit down and, you know, and talk them through it. I said it before, I had a client recently on the weekend program. Now, I didn't know he had this problem until we discovered it, and I was able to help him to break through it in like just a weekend. So I got on really well with him, right, because he was coming to my free Phyllis events for a while. Then he eventually took a paid program with me, a weekend program. So when we sat down on day one, I was having a chat with him. I was asking him what does he want to achieve, what his goals were. He was sort of telling me his goals are around moving out. He wants to move into his own place. He said he was living with his dad, which he gets on with. He wants to start his own business. He wants to get a long-term relationship, because he had one before and I think it broke down. So he was telling me these things, and I was helping him with these things. But then after a while, he just went quiet for a long period of time. And I noticed that I was doing a lot of the talking, which is fine. But then I realized he's gone quiet because he's got afraid, you know, he's got anxious, it's a pattern where it kind of swallows you. And I know the pattern, again, because I used to have it when I was younger from trauma and anxiety, and I overcame it through practice. So, you know, I know how to speak to my clients, and I've got that good relationship. So I said to him, like, are you okay? And then he explained to me that the reason why he gets, I wouldn't say so much awkward, right? I didn't see him as awkward, but he just would go quiet, just close down and just look at me, and he wouldn't say much, right? So when he explained to me that the reason why that happens to him is because he got bullied at school and he got criticised, so every now and then, unconsciously, this pattern takes him over. So I made him aware of it, and we started to practice. I said, every time that happens, I'll just remind you, because he gave me permission, he's paying me to help him, right? Which is great. And I would remind him, oh, you've gone quiet again, you've closed down. You know, practice speaking, and he would speak again. And we'd have to keep doing it for a while. And then we went for some food, some lunch, had some Chinese food, and I said it to him, I called it out. So the second day of the program, he was staying in a hotel. He went off and done shopping in London, obviously. I went back to my place. We met for the second day, completely opened up, completely came out of his shell. He was fantastic. He was confident because of sitting down and having these confidence coaching conversations that are, yeah, they're challenging at the start, don't get me wrong, but you get used to it after a while. You build a tolerance to it. It's a bit like, I call it social sparring. It's not physical martial arts, of course, but my mentor Jeff used to say the same, but it's very similar. It's confrontational, but in a non-confrontational way, the way I'm speaking now. It's not aggressive, not disrespecting anyone. It's kind, it's friendly, but it's confident, it's assertive, it's honest. It's the honesty that can feel confrontational for people and my clients who are not used to this level of honesty in their relationships in their whole life. So sitting down and doing this for, if we're doing a weekend program, you're doing it for like 10 hours. You know, I may take clients out sometimes it's not always necessary. Sometimes they need it for exposure. I take them out, help them to speak to people in public. That gives confidence. But a lot of the work I'm doing lately is the sitting down. And as simple as it sounds, it works. And the truth is always usually simple in success, but obviously it takes discipline. And I've said I keep seeing improvements with my clients. One of the ways in which I always can tell my clients are improving, they speak more. They speak more, they go quiet less, there's less awkwardness. I speak less, I listen. And then when I'm speaking, they're super present. So being present, being able to listen, and it's a difference between when you're just sort of frozen in that fear, when you're just in anxiety and you're kind of listening, but you're scared and you're tense, and the other person's talking, you kind of can't really hear them, you're just frozen. As opposed to when you're unfrozen, you're relaxed, really relaxed inside, you feel safe, you're confident, and you're present listening the way I am now. And when the person's speaking, it's an amazing experience. You can hear every word they're saying, you can really process, then you can respond and they listen. So this training back and forward, it's unbelievable how it changes your life. And it changed my life, and I didn't realize for so many years, I didn't do this in my relationships. Why? I was scared of it. And most of the people I was around were also scared of it, scared of that intimacy, because you're kind of scared of being caught out, being caught out for being not good enough or ashamed or, all these issues. So it works so well. And of course, you can practice it right now. I want everyone on the channel to do it. But like I said, doing it with a coach is very different, because we don't just go for coffee and just talk about the boxing or who's Tyson Fury fighting next or who's Mayweather going to do an exhibition with, which is fine, that's just building rapport. When I'm talking to my clients, I'm helping them to overcome their fears, set goals and achieve those goals. And those goals are usually around love, health, career, purpose, motivation, training, all these areas. And I love all this stuff. So I was super positive and passionate to share this today and talk more on it. And I can honestly say, guys, the confidence, I'm so grateful for how confident I've become, because I've been doing this for years. That's why you can't put a price on it. Helping other people and coaching them, even if you're not intending to, it helps you. You grow as a person from helping so many people. And I didn't realize, God, time goes quick. I've been coaching for almost 11 years. I forget. I've been meeting people from around the world and having conversations with them. But it's a unique type of conversation. It's high quality. It's not negative. It's not abusive. It's respectful. It's honest. And it's a coaching conversation. And it's amazing. It's simple, but it's extremely sophisticated in that we really get to a good place and you have that connection. My clients have that, we have that connection, they have it with me, and then they go out. And of course, because they're doing this every week on the programs, when they go into their social life, you continue that positive habit, those social skills, that confidence. And I'm going to tell you guys now what is good social skills, and it comes down to quite simple things. For me, number one, good social skills is having empathy for the other person. It's caring about other people. Even if you just care about them a bit, it makes a big deal, having empathy, right? Some people lack it, they're not aware of it. And the second one is around the actual communication. It's good eye contact. It doesn't have to be intense. I'm not saying you've got to stare, but generally looking in the eye. It's also, the best part is listening skills. Most people lack this in our whole culture. I know I did. Many people do, and I had to work on it. They don't know how to listen properly. Like, they're really bad at listening and not interrupting and hearing what the person's saying and understanding the person. So that's also good social skills. Eye contact, empathy, respect, listening, and being real, not people pleasing, being respectful and being honest. And that's really challenging for people to do. And I'm not judging, I understand. It's challenging for me, but I suppose I've been doing it for so long and I love it, it's my passion. Sometimes it's easy for me. Sometimes in sessions with clients, really challenging for me, because I've got to tell my clients the truth, and sometimes they get upset. I have to, because I'm there to help them. And they're not paying me to be a friend and just lie to them and agree with them. No, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help them to reach their goals. But it doesn't always go that way, but it can do. So it's being real, sitting down. It gives you so much confidence, and it improves every relationship, guys. It's the same. Clients they tell me well, I'm getting on better with my mum and dad. I can tolerate them, I can connect with them, or my girlfriend, or at work, every area. So the area that I coach people in doesn't just help them, helps guys to be confident, or women, every area with everyone. Because once you become more confident and you sit down and you go to events, and that's what happened to me, guys. Before I started coaching, I was going out and practicing eye contact and going to groups and sitting down and having coffees with friends and going on dates and job interviews. It's unbelievable what it does for a person. You can hear how passionate I am. But of course it's uncomfortable for quite a long period until you get used to it and you really enjoy it. You know, I see my clients relax more, smiling more, more open, more confident, and it's amazing. It really is. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sort of every month, someone will fly over from America or from Europe or Asia and come and do a program, and I get to meet them in person and sit down and speak to them in a coaching conversation and help them. It changes people's lives. I can say from my experience, I've had friends, I've been in relationships where it's ruined my mental health, right? I've allowed it to happen because they're negative and we're sitting down and it's bad energy. Could be on both sides. I'll hold myself accountable too. And it just makes you feel awful. It makes you feel terrible. You feel like you're a loser. You can't achieve anything. Self-esteem goes down the toilet. And I've been in relationships and had friends where it's so positive. It gives you so much confidence. You give one another confidence. So, you know, I can't think of a better way to build social confidence and in life than what I've just been describing in this video for the last X amount of time. And it's so simple, but people will easily bypass it. And I get it. I understand ignorance. Someone could say, how could sitting down and going for a coffee change your life and just talking? That's normal. You know, people do that, you know, old people do it, young people do it, or our grandma's done it, our uncle. Well, maybe you got it wrong, because it does work. You've never done it, or you're not aware, you're not conscious of it. And it's the quality of conversation, like I said. It's the quality, it's the content. Look, yeah, anyone can sit down, get a coffee and talk complete nonsense and be negative and be judgmental, or sit down and do small talk and fillers and hide. So it's coming out of your shell. It does wonders. And I've had so many of these conversations with clients, and I really wanted to share it on this channel and extend it, because I have had this realization lately that a lot of the sort of teachings and conversations I have with clients in paid sessions, sometimes I don't extend them on YouTube. I don't do it on purpose because I'm so busy. Now I'm consciously doing it because I want to add more value on this platform. So it's life-changing, it really does. And I want to go and say this. When I was working through all these social problems and issues of eye contact and speaking and relaxing and feeling good about myself and learning how to connect with people, these situations changed my life. Going on first dates with women and having eye contact, because I used to just fall apart with fear and be terrified. That's why I can completely relate to my clients where they are to begin with. But I got so much confidence in them that they can change if they're committed, because I've helped so many clients do it and I've done it. I know the process. So going on dates made me more relaxed. Business meetings was the same. When I first started my business, I remember I used to do these 1-hour consultations where I'd meet people for an hour for free, and I would sell my coaching and speak to them and see if I could work with them and meet them. And I was scared, I was nervous. You know, this is when I first started out, and I'd sit in front of people and meet all different types of people. But it gave me so much confidence, and it made me realize the confidence I could give people. And obviously when I worked with my mentor, when I worked with Jeff and he coached me, did the same, you know, did the walks around the park, sitting down, talking to him. I was scared at the start, nervous. So there's no shame at all in admitting that you're scared. Everybody is until they overcome this fear, and it's a great feeling. I've seen people's faces light up, clients, and even people I've met throughout the years, who've been able to sit down and someone actually value them and listen to them and give them time and let them speak. Because most people in your life, relationships right now, they don't let you speak because they're ignorant, they're selfish, they don't care, or they're worrying about their own stuff. And that's the great thing about the work I do, at least for those hours, right? Because I'm still a human being, none of us are perfect, but when I'm teaching, it's not about me, it's about my clients, and I love it. I get to not be selfish and help them and listen, and people really, really appreciate the simple things. When you value them, you respect them, You let them speak. You don't interrupt them and talk crap and put them down. Just hear them out. And I like saying this to my clients. I'll say, do I have your permission to tell you where I think you're going wrong and how you can improve? And they say, yes, tell me. And then I'll tell them. It's learning how to speak to people in a way where you are authentic but respectful. And these are all skills, because some people are really good, they don't care, they're unfiltered, but then they lack social skills, they upset everyone, they're rude, and that's not good. It's good to be open, it's good to not care what people think, but it's not good to not have respect for people, because you're just going to upset people and ruin every relationship. No one's going to like you, it's going to come off like a bully. So it's a real skill to have these skills, but anyone can learn them who really wants to learn them. And that's why you can see, I said at the start of this video, it starts off simple and there's a real beauty to it. You know, it goes really deep. And I guess in many regards, I don't call myself a therapist, right? Because I'm a confidence person. My title is confidence coach. I don't get too much into title, but it is a form of therapy. It is therapy, it's therapeutic, but it has a few more elements to it. And that comes from what I learned, that's just been around for years, my own style of teaching, my own touch to it. And, you know, a big part of me, some of it, I don't know how I do it, but I believe, thank you God, it's a gift. And the rest of it is, you know, through experience, through learning. So best practice for getting over social anxiety, building social confidence and confidence in life. And it's, you know, 2 of my clients now, one of them is already doing public speaking, running his business. Because of us doing this in the sessions, this is where it can lead to. There's no limits to where it can go for you if you're really committed and passionate. And it's a great practice. And of course, if you've got friends in your life now that are positive, practice it with them. Sit down for 2-3 hours, and it builds stamina. Because a lot of people, what happens after they talk for a bit? Oh, they're yawning, they get tired, or listening to someone, they switch off. It teaches you how to focus. So the skills that you're practicing and developing, you apply them in life. You're sharper, especially when you go gym, all these areas. So I'm going to talk about this more. And honestly, it gives you so much confidence in it. It really makes you do. When you learn these things, you care about people more. You can read people better. You can connect with them. You can understand them better because of the practice of sitting down opposite each other, talking, listening, going back and forward, you know, sharing stories. It is really life-changing. I could go on and on and on. And that's a skill in and of itself, where a lot of people run out of things to say. And I've got to this point because of years of practice, because I would have ran out when I was younger. I wouldn't know what to say on this video. But now I don't have that problem because of confidence, experience, overcoming those fears, getting, you know, being passionate, not thinking too much is another practice that I do a lot. And that's a huge part of this, where a lot of people struggle. When they sit down initially, they start overthinking. What's the other person thinking about me now? Are they staring at me? Are they judging me? Are they seeing my flaws? That's human. Everyone has that, but it's getting past that. And building confidence is a habit in which you overcome that voice. You practice it, you reduce it, you get present. You know, you're proud of your voice. All these fears are what hold people back. They're ashamed of their voice. They don't like how they look, how they sound, because of things other people have said. So you get past criticism and what people have said when you're younger, and you have a good opinion of yourself through this discipline of sitting, talking, eye contact, listening, responding. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the more you do it, the more confident you get. And as I said, that's why the 6 weeks program format works so well, and the 1 year program even better, and the weekend program, because of this practice, all right? So I'm going to do more on this topic, a lot more. And yeah, I wanted to educate you on that and share some of my coaching, because a lot of you ask me, what does coaching look like? What do you do? It's the simplicity of it that works, all right?